stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Happy Sober Saturday. Sober Saturday. I know, I do a lot of repeating. It's my stemming. I'm sure I'm on the spectrum somewhere. Some days I feel like the whole darn spectrum. I've never been tested or anything. That would be a self-diagnosis, which you must watch for. A lot of self-diagnosis out there, man. But good morning. Oh, hope you had a good week. It's time for the weekend. Another opportunity to do things. All right. Now we should take it. We got a new day. Opportunities that do things. I woke up this morning. My cigarettes were not where they were supposed to be. The cats seemed to have gotten to them. Took me a while to find my lighter. I go into the laundry room. There's stuff sitting on the dryer. We'll go to grab it. It's wet. I'm like, okay. And this is just, I haven't even prayed yet. So I go grab my shorts I wore yesterday because they were still okay, clean enough to wear today. They're wet. Yeah. So I got to change my attitude a little bit. I got a little grumpy with the wife. Probably shouldn't do that. Soba Saturday. Soba. What is soba? Is that a kind of drink? I'm kidding. I know what you're saying. All I know is that you are trying to say out of your mouth. And I'm not awake. All right. Amber says, we bought a pop-up camper this week and our goldfish of 5 years died. It was an up and down week on top of the running over a snake. Not a snack. I knew what you meant. First animal I've ever hit that you're aware of. That you're aware of, actually. Work was like work. Soba is an accent. Yeah, I caught it. I knew what you meant by soba. Soba. No, it wasn't a drink. We're going to be in the big book, page 77 today. I got to get a little creasing in this book because it's brand spanking new. I said I was going to get another big book. Actually, I got a box of them. I got like 5 big books. No, I don't think I have that many. If I did, it's now 4. I got a bunch of 12 by 12s and shit ton of literature in a box. So just waiting to put it to good use. All right. Maybe somebody will need a big book. We can mail it out to them. We've got a couple available. They were actually bought by the 3 p.m. How It Works meeting. So I will not be, I'm going to give them away. They were bought and paid for to do exactly that. So, but I gave my other big book to my daughter. So I grabbed one because I need one. All right. Should we get started or should we grab a fan first? Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. If you're here, please say hello, whether watching the live or the rewatch. And I'm going to grab a fan. I'm going to grab a fan. Or as you would like to say, a design for living, as Amber says. A design for living. All right. One day I'll be rich enough that I can have a fan in every room. All right. Why can't I see the chat on your screen no more? It's odd. Yeah, I know. Because I've been making clips. I've been making clips out of these. I've been doing this for like a week now. I've been making clips longer, but the problem was when I was making the clips, names were you could see the names from the chat. And I didn't want to blow people's anonymity. So I decided not to utilize the chat overlay. You should still be able to see other people's chats, just not on the screen. So that's kind of why. If people don't give a fuck, I'll put it back. But I did it because I don't have your permission to post your name in my video. I didn't have permission. So I figure I would go for the discretion instead. But if my audience would prefer that the chat overlay is on and you don't mind, let me know and I'll put it back on. So, all right. So, we're going to start in the middle of page 76 is where we're going to start right after the 7th step prayer. Now we need more action without which we find that faith without works is dead. Let's look at steps 8 and 9. We have a list of all persons we have harmed and to whom we are willing to make amends. We made it when we took inventory. All right. It's going to be a long month of step 8. Considering it's a list. No, it's going to be a month of willingness is what it'll be, because willingness is the principle behind step 8. No, it's not. Let's go look this up. I have that wrong. What is the principle? Brotherly love. All right. That's some. So we'll be talking about brotherly love all month. That's probably much better than willingness, huh? Yeah. And you're like, I've had enough of the willingness. At least we don't have an acceptance / gratitude month, right? Right. It's a joke between Amber and I. So you already made your list. You made your list of step 4. It's your grudge list. Don't worry, your sponsor will go over it with you. You're probably not going to make amends to, kind of hard to make amends to. How do you make amends to the IRS? I'll just tell you how. Pay your taxes. Just pay your taxes. That's your amends. You don't need to go track down the IRS and, pull somebody apart, and sit there and make amends about your whole life to something. Some of them are just a financial amends that you need to take care of. Yeah. We subjected ourselves to a drastic appraisal. Now we go out to our fellows and repair the damage done in the past. We attempt to sweep away the debris which is accumulated out of our effort to live on self-will and run the show ourselves. If we haven't the will to do this, we ask until it comes. Remember, it was agreed at the beginning we would go to any lengths for victory over alcohol. There's the willingness, right? Matt? Because we asked if you were willing to go to any lengths. Now notice the willingness is gone. You don't need it anymore. You're already utilizing it. That's why they took it out. By this time, willingness is just a part of your life. You use willingness a lot more. I said this wasn't going to be a willingness one. And then here I am talking about nothing but it. All right. Okay, so let's move on. What we're doing, what the whole point of 8 and 9 is cleaning your side of the street. That is the whole point of it. Okay? This is not the other person's inventory. It is ours. Maybe what they did will come up, but that's going to have to come from them. That's going to have to come from them, not us. All right? So, but in 8, what we're trying to do is figure out who we need to make amends to, what kind of amends. Probably there are still some misgivings as we look over the business list of business acquaintances and friends we have hurt. We may feel diffident about going to some of them on a spiritual basis. Let us be reassured, to some people, we need not and probably should not emphasize the spiritual feature on our first approach. Now, when they say first approach, that makes it sound like I have to go make this amends more than once. No, you're probably going to run into them again, is kind of what they're saying. You don't go, I don't do my amends in chunks. This isn't like a 12th step where I'm coming back the next day after they've thought a little bit. Well, maybe it'll turn out that way, but they kind of make it sound like you're going to be doing more. No, when you see them again. Okay. As for emphasizing the spiritual feature, I'm going to tell you, and this is me. I don't give a fuck. If I want to bring up God in that conversation, I'm going to bring up God. Sorry. They don't have to agree with it. They don't have to agree with what I have to say. I don't care. I'm giving you a bad example. Here's the thing. All right. I just gave you a very bad example. Don't do it that way. I wanted you to hear me, the defiance in what I was saying. And you heard it, did you not? Okay, good. You got it. Good. I got to have some fun around here. It's just been me and Amber all week. So, you know. So we might prejudice them. We don't want them to hate AA either. Okay. Birds of a feather flock together. There's a good chance they are alcoholic. Right? Did you ever think that maybe part of your 8th and 9th step was also 12th stepping those that have alcohol problems? And you're not really 12th stepping them and talking about theirs, you're talking about yours. And what that does is it brings hope to other people. That's what we're getting at here. All right. So there'll be some people on that list and you know who they are, that maybe have a drinking problem. They're not alcoholic, not until they say they're alcoholic, right? But maybe they have a drinking problem. Maybe they drink like you. Maybe they show some of the symptoms. Well, in this case, what your job to do is to be a great example of what sobriety and recovery can look like. That is why you should not stress the spiritual feature in the beginning. All right. All right. At the moment, we are trying to put our lives in order, but this is not an end in itself. Our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and the people about us. I already got to do my fair share of running and gunning. Those days are over. My drink card has been filled. Not only did I fill up my drink card, I filled up part of my wife's drink card too. Hers might be full too. Maybe that's why she doesn't drink anymore. My wife has just as much sobriety length as I do. Actually, a little bit longer. She's not an alcoholic. She's never really liked alcohol. So, right. It is seldom wise to approach an individual who still smarts from injustice to him and announce that we have gone religious. Yeah, because then what, you think you're better than me? That's what'll happen next. That's what they'll think. Oh, you think you're better than me once you bring up religion. Right. Now, the thing is, a lot of people already know about AA. So if they hear you're in AA, they might already assume that you've gone religious, even though you have not. But they may assume that. Let them bring it up. Right? In the prize ring, this would be called leading with the chin. Why lay ourselves open to being branded fanatics or religious bores? Well, that's not very nice to say, but you will. It's a stigma. We may kill a future opportunity to carry a beneficial message. See, there we are. Now, I did a little bit more describing into that. Okay. But that's the only line they really give you here. So there's more to it. But our man is sure to be impressed with a sincere desire to set right the wrong. He is going to be more interested in our demonstration of goodwill than our talk of spiritual discoveries. Yeah, because in step 9, the oh man, sorry, everything in my brain just left. Whoop, 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 whoop. Bye bye, brain. Bye bye, brain. Bye bye, Billy. Gremlins. Bye bye, Billy. It's really close to Elmo. Really close to Elmo, but Gremlins came out first. Elmo's a little bit higher. Right. Did you know the Tickle Me Elmos? Did you know that every Tickle Me Elmo gets 2 test tickles before leaving the factory? Hope you got that. I kind of separated the word. I'll repeat that. They get 2 test tickles before leaving the factory. Did you know that? All right. To be of maximum service. That's all we're really striving for anymore. To be the best that we can be each day. That is not always going to be 100%. That's all right. Today I already know I ain't at 100%. Sawyer, can I get a meow? No. We don't use this as an excuse for shying away from the subject of God. When it will serve good purpose, we are willing to announce our convictions with tact and common sense. The question of how to approach the man we hated will arise. It may be he has done us more harm than we have done him. And though we may have acquired a better attitude toward him, we are still not too keen about admitting our faults. Nevertheless, with a person we dislike, we take the bit in our teeth. It is harder to go to an enemy than to a friend, but we find it much more beneficial to us. We go to him in a helpful and forgiving spirit, confessing our former ill feelings and expressing our regret. Do not plan on what is going to be. Do not what if your 8th and 9th step. Do not future trip into it. Oh, I'm going to say this and they'll say that. And then no, it is not going to go that way. I tell you right now, it is not going to go that way. You're thinking of that with an alcoholic mind, which means it's already probably incorrect. All right. This is about me cleaning my side of the street. Their side of the street is, guess what? None of my business. No matter what they did to me, it still isn't my business. Am I doing this for them? No, you're doing it for you. You're an alcoholic. You require freedom. You require freedom with discipline. Hey? It's hard. If it was easy, well, then we'd all be living in utopia. Then we'd all be holding hands, skipping down the street, right? And you know that ain't gonna happen. You probably figured out, okay? So, do not expect them to do the same thing, especially people that you think are in the program. Yeah. I tell you now, it is not very often. Actually, I don't really get into it with people in the program anymore. All right. I'll give you an example. About 5 years ago, maybe it was 6 years ago, probably more closer to 6 years ago, I was I got into it with an employer. And there were other people I still worked at. They're this close. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right. Well, the way they quote unquote, let me go. They blackballed me and started creating division. Started talking a lot of shit. Well, you know what? I did the same thing. I jumped on that bandwagon for about a month. And I was talking serious shit. I mean, I was running my mouth. It wasn't the right thing. So they would not answer my phone calls. So what I did is I sent them an email and I made amends for causing division. And they wrote back, well, I'm really glad that you saw that. Thank you. Okay. Was it both sides? Yes. Does it matter that they didn't do their amends? Well, I caught it, but beyond that, no, because that wasn't the purpose of it. If the purpose was for me to get my amends back from them, if that would have been the intention, if that would have been the purpose, then it wasn't an amends. Because the only amends, aside from paying off a debt, is changed behavior. It's the only true amends we alcoholics have. That's it. Because we got to put action into it. What else comes with amends? Trust. Trust comes with amends. Well, if you haven't done the work, they can't trust you. If you're still putting the cart before the horse, if you're still talking before you walk and not walking before you talk, they're not going to trust you because that to them is old behavior. Why? Because it is old behavior. All right. Under no condition do we criticize such a person or argue. If they want to argue and yell and scream, let them. Your job is to do this. Nod your head. Just nod your head. When they say something, and you can even repeat it back. Yep, that did happen. You're right. It happened. Mm-hmm. Eventually, they're going, if you're agreeing with them, eventually they're going to calm down. They're going to calm down. But remember how angry you were? Well, yeah, you're going to have some people that are going to fucking yell at you. Children that have been holding this shit in for 20 years. They got a lot of anger. All right. Simply, we tell him that we will never get over drinking until we have done our utmost to straighten out the past. We are there to sweep off our side of the street, realizing that nothing worthwhile can be accomplished until we do so. Never try to tell him what he should do. His faults are not to be discussed. Even if they bring them up, you are not to discuss them. You're not discussing your faults. I hope not. Anyway, we stick to our own. If our manner is calm, frank, and open, we will be gratified with the result. In 9 cases out of 10, the unexpected happens. Sometimes the man we are calling upon admits his own faults, so feuds of years stand melting away in an hour. All right. And that was kind of my experience too. Kinda. I don't know. Not in any 9th step that I did people really admit their shit. No. I'm sorry, but it didn't happen. But the unexpected did happen. I don't like that they put in 9 cases out of 10 because that's going to set an expectation in an alcoholic's head. And then when it doesn't happen that way, you're going to feel like it failed. And then you're going to walk away from the program. So watch those expectations. Watch the expectations. You can't have any walking in there. Well, the big book said, well, the big book's not criterion in this case. Because that was not my experience. Maybe 3 out of 10. Nah. Rarely do we fail to make satisfactory progress. That I agree with. Yes. Our former enemies sometimes praise what we are doing and wish us well. Never happened to me. Occasionally they will offer assistance. Never happened. It should not matter, however, if someone does throw us out of his office. That has happened. It's we have made We have made our demonstration, done our part as water over the dam. Now, I'm not saying the process didn't work, because there was sufficient progress being made. What am I doing? I'm freeing myself from more bullshit. That's what I'm doing. That's what I went after. But I'm sorry, but for me, no feuds were ended. No, well, that's not totally true. But I don't really count my kids as a feud. I did that to them. They had a right to be angry, and I had to get their trust back. So I don't consider that as a part of it. All right, today's reading: how easily I can become misdirected in approaching the 8th step. I wish to be free, somehow transformed by my 6th and 7th step work. Now more than ever, I'm vulnerable to my own self-interest and hidden agenda. I'm careful to remember that self-satisfactions, which sometimes comes through the spoken forgiveness of those I have harmed, is not my true objective. I become willing to make amends, knowing that through this process, I am mended and made fit to move forward, to know and desire God's will for me. Woohoo! All right, that's going to be it for this round. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.